let's take a moment and walk through the grading criteria for the course. Again, since I am not going to be looking for you to answer questions that demonstrate your conceptual understanding of design thinking, this is all going to be project-based. And really, I don't even like using the term project because project assumes that we know exactly what we're doing and we have a very clear timeline and we've got a budget, right? It's these like antiquated old ways of thinking about doing work, right? Which are fine in certain cases, but in the design process, we've got to stay a little bit more open with it. So in order to allow that flexibility throughout this project while still having some sort of formalized grading criteria and process, I've designed this rubric that I'll be using for all of your work throughout the semester. So each time you complete a work for one of the design sprints or do one of the discussion posts within the course, I'm going to be looking for 5 key items or areas of a demonstration where you are actually taking the concepts that we are talking about within the course and showing that you are actually practicing with them. So the first criteria is going to be that your work is truly human-centered. So each week or with each design sprint, all of your deliverables need to be able to very clearly demonstrate that your work is revolving around the needs, perspectives, and experiences of your end users. And so, to give an example, if we start talking about opportunities and you kind of indicate that you've got a solution in mind already for one of the projects or problems that you're working on, I'm going to want to see that you kind of just put that in the parking lot for now and really find opportunities to go and interview folks, observe folks, so that you are putting not only your own perceptions and ideas at the forefront, but really leading with what those individuals or what those folks are telling you. So I'm going to always be looking for you to first and foremost have work that is truly human centered and working to empathize with and show compassion for the people you're designing not just for, but with. I'll also be looking for critical thinking and deep reflection. This is where curiosity really comes to the forefront. I want to see that you're questioning assumptions, that you're uncovering new and surprising insights, which is a tall order, but something that I know every single one of you are capable of doing. I want to see that you're consistently pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and really reflecting each week on what you've learned. So while you'll be doing work in your Miro board to kind of demonstrate your thinking and your questioning of existing assumptions, um, I'm going to be looking for your reflection, which is what you're going to type up in the discussion board each week to also understand how you're reflecting on that process, what worked well, what can be improved, and what you're going to do next based on what you've learned. I also want to see that you are able to clearly communicate your insights and analysis. So whether you're doing this in your Miro board or you're finding some other way to articulate and communicate what you've learned every single sprint, um, I want to see that you're doing it in a way that is easily understood by anybody. So you'll hear sometimes people say, okay, well, could your grandma understand it? Or could a fifth grader understand it, right? You really want to think it not just those levels of the age spectrum, but you really want to think about folks from all different types of backgrounds who might touch your product or service and say, okay, in terms of how I'm presenting this, could they walk up to this Miro board and understand what I'm trying to say without me even saying a word, right? It's that 10-second rule. Can I look at what you're presenting and get right to the heart of it within 10 seconds? And so I'll be coming back to that as I grade and give you feedback on your work at each one of the sprints. I'll also be looking for your ability to demonstrate your comfort with Kanban. And this Kanban process is really what we're going to be using as kind of our agile framework throughout the semester. Very simple, but I want to see that you're actually utilizing and updating your Kanban board frequently, not just, once every couple of weeks, but as you're working throughout the process. I want to see that your tasks are very clearly defined. And so by that, I mean that they're both explicit and specific, right? That you don't leave anything up to, assumption for me to fill in the blanks or anybody else for that matter, that you're identifying tasks, you're saying where you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, when you're going to do it, with whom you're going to do it. And I also want to see that you're being really mindful about limiting your work in progress. We could all go through and type out, 500 to-dos of all kinds of things that we want to do and intend to do. And especially with this project, right? You can start making a big laundry list really quickly. But I want to see that you're really focusing on those things that are going to help you uncover the insights that you're looking for, right? So part of that process is going to be looking and making sure that your Kanban board logically aligns with your overall goals and objectives for the project. And finally, I want to see you practice with asking clarifying questions to your peers. So we'll have 3 small group meetings throughout the course of the semester, and I'll design those groups in ways such that we'll kind of try to have like projects meeting, project groups and individuals meeting together. So you can kind of bounce ideas off one another, but I might end up throwing a few random ones in there to just get you thinking out of the box. So as a part of having those small group sessions, which I'll be identifying up front here soon in the semester, is that each week or with each sprint, when your group mates are posting out their Miro boards, I want you to go to each of those individual Miro boards and use 2 Post-it notes to go through or add a comment on the Miro board where you're asking a good question. Now, this should not be great work, was this hard for you? Right? I really want you to get one that seeks to enhance understanding. So to do that, if you're looking at the Miro board and something is not super clear to you in terms of how it's going to get done, or if they thought about maybe this different perspective or whatever the case may be, I want you to start practicing asking good questions, because the better you can ask questions of your peers, the more critical your thinking is going to develop, right? And you're going to start asking better questions on a regular basis, hopefully to the folks that you're designing for. When you can start asking really good questions to them, then that's when those golden nuggets, you're going to start to see them, right? You're going to really start to find those pain points, and that is what we want to look for. So if you have questions about the grading rubric throughout the semester, please feel free to email me at any time. I will be doing this grading within Brightspace, so you can see next to each one of the criteria my feedback and my reasoning for your grade. In terms of overall grading for the course, there are going to be 500 potential points, and that is going to be comprised of your discussions, which align with the design sprints and the introductory model, your 2 one-on-one meetings with me, 3 small group meetings where you'll get an opportunity to hear from your peers in the course and really kind of talk through what they're facing, what they've learned, some of their challenges, and hopefully, again, that will help you get some additional insights and perspectives on your work and give you an opportunity to ask good questions. And then last but not least, for 100 points, it's going to be your final pitch. Now, your final pitch in the class can be almost like, a pitch for funding if you have an entrepreneurial-like project that you want to pitch to potential investors. If this is a project within your organization, I'd be looking for a pitch to senior leadership at the organization and or your colleagues or the folks that you're actually designing for, right? So we can think about what that final pitch looks like for each of you on an individual basis. And that's really what our last one-on-one is going to be talking about. But along the way, if you have any questions about how I am going to be grading your effort and your learning throughout the course, again, please don't hesitate to reach out. You can email me at any time at sarah.bonzo@oswego.edu.